Lecture video number 3, structural analysis, still under statics or rigid bodies, but this time we'll be focusing on frames. At the end of this session, you guys are expected to analyze the forces acting on the members of frames and machines composed of pin-connected members. Let me just go over my slide for frames. Okay, frames. Frames and machines are two types of structures which are often composed of pin-connected multi-force members, such as members that are subjected to more than two forces. Frames are used to support loads, whereas machines contain moving parts and are designed to transmit and alter the effect of forces. Provided a frame or machine contains no more supports or members than are necessary to prevent its collapse, the forces acting at the joints and supports can be determined by applying the equations of equilibrium to each of its members. Now, once these forces are obtained, it is then possible to design the size of the members, connections, and supports using the theory of mechanics of materials and an appropriate engineering design code. Now, for this part, wherein it says here possible to design the size of the members, this is covered under mechanics of materials, which is statics of rigid body is a prerequisite too. So how are we going to solve for frames and machines? First, free body diagram. In order to determine the forces acting at the joints and the supports of a frame or a machine, the structure must be disassembled and the free body diagrams of all its parts must be drawn. The following important points must be observed. 1. You have to isolate each part by drawing its outlined shape. Now don't worry, I will just have an illustration later on. Then show all the forces and or couple moments that act on that part. Now make sure to label or identify each known and unknown force and couple moment with reference, of course, to an established X and Y coordinate system. Also, indicate any dimension used for taking moments. Most often, the equations of equilibrium are easier to apply if the forces are represented by their rectangular components, because of course we will be doing summation of forces x is equal to 0, summation of forces y is equal to 0, and summation of moment is equal to 0. Now again, following the Varinius theorem, it is very easy, or it is much easier to solve if your forces is resolved into its x and y component, because the perpendicular distances of these forces are much easier to locate. Identify next all the two force members in the structure and represent their free body diagrams as having two equal but opposite collinear forces acting at their points of application. Now, where does two force members, a discussion on two force members, please go over equilibrium of a rigid body discussion. By recognizing the two force members, we can avoid solving an unnecessary number of equilibrium equations. But of course, if you decide to break your two force members into its x and y component, you can still get them. But if you have a good grasp of the basics, you can immediately identify that this is a two force member, so the time of your solution will be much lower. But again, nevertheless, still you will end up with the same answer even if you break your single force into its x and y component for that two force member. Next, forces common to any two contacting members act with equal magnitudes but opposite sense on the respective members. Now, If the two members are treated as a system of connected members, then these forces are internal and are not shown on the free body diagram of the system. However, if the free body diagram of each member is drawn, the forces are external and must be shown as equal in magnitude and opposite in direction on each of the two free body diagram. Now, for this part here, common to any two contacting members. Say, for example, if you have your uh, roller here and then you have their surface. So, of course, your roller, no, uh, if you try to have it in the perspective of your surface, your roller will exert a downward force. But in the perspective of your roller, your surface exerts an upward force. So this is to maintain equilibrium. This is what it means when I say forces common to any two contacting members act with equal magnitude but opposite sense on the respective members. Okay, this is an illustration here. If let's say we have this frame, we have a load P here and a couple moment at this point. So first and foremost, you have to determine the support reaction. So both of these A and C are pin connected. So let's say we have a force here, force here, force here, force there. There. We have AX, AY, CX, CY. Then, because we're going to apply the equilibrium equation, we can determine AX, AY, CX, and CY. But there are certain cases that for this initial writing of your forces, you cannot determine your support reactions yet. So you have to dissect more deeper into your frame. So for example, this one, we'll have this, okay? So we'll have one member here, this member, and this another member. Okay, now for AB member, we just retained our AY going up, AX going to the right. Now, if we say that our BY here at member AB is going down and BX is to the left, it must be that if you proceed to the next member, which is BC, you have to make sure that your BY and BX follows opposite of your firstly assumed direction of BX and BY. So for BY, at member AB, you assume going down. So at member BC, it has to be going up. And for BX in AB member, to the left. So at member BC, it has to be to the right. So that is how you maintain equilibrium when dissecting your frames. Next, let's say this part here, you have your weight and then belt. Oh, what's this? Okay. Okay, we have this. We have our belt here, tension, and then the weight. Okay, so we'll have two parts of our frame here. This part here, the roller, and then this part here, together with our weight. Right. So this part going down for our weight, and then our support reaction AX and AY. Now, of course, our roller is a pin connected to our member AB. So we'll have y and x component. If we assume that our by, where the pin is located, is going up and bx is going to the left, if we do our analysis at the roller, so it has to be opposite. So bx is to the right and by is going down to maintain equilibrium. So by this, we can now solve for all of solve all our unknowns. Another, this one. So we'll have how many members, how many frames, part of our frame. So we have this roller here, this entire thing, and then this as well. Okay, we'll look for our reactions first, then, right? So we have 1, 2, and 3. Another example here. Okay. Now this is the widely accepted procedure. But again, if you guys are able to look for procedures that is best suited for you, then I am very much open, provided that it is mathematically correct and logically correct. Okay, just have, again, the same thing. You just have to dissect your frame. You draw the free body diagram. You label it properly, and you label also the dimensions, especially if you'll be doing moment summation. And then you do apply all of the equilibrium equations. Okay, we'll have different numerous example for frames and machines. So go over each of the video. Thank you.